Hey guys, welcome back to Loft Sports. My name's Seth. Gonna be doing my review of the Wisconsin game. This game was kind of an interesting game here because we went toe for toe with a top 15 team for a good bit of the game. I think there was the kickoff return that was returned for a touchdown, and then the interception we threw off a tip pass by the defensive lineman or the linebacker. Someone got a hand on it, Spy and Adrian. They ended up getting a pick off that. But other than those two plays, I mean, my goodness, I think that was about as good as this team can play. The first quarter, Wisconsin didn't have their usual success against us running the ball, which surprised me considering the fact that Darian Daniels wasn't playing, considering the fact that Carlos Davis decided not to play even though he practiced all week. Apparently his ankle was perfectly fine to go against our offensive line, but not Wisconsin. Read into that what you will, but I think he kind of just quit, and I'd be surprised if he played or started the rest of the year. Just my opinion on that. But I mean, running the ball, Dedrick Mills, the offensive line was opening holes on Wisconsin like I've never seen before. I've never seen us gash Wisconsin so easily like we did this game, especially that first half. And then you look up at the score, and we were up 7-0. Then we're up 14-10. Then next thing you know, it's 24-14, and they're driving towards the end of the half, and it's 27-14. And I'm sitting there going, when I rewatched the game, I was sitting there going, that's about as good of a half of football as I've seen us play all year, and we're still down by that margin going into half, and it didn't look like we had too much momentum. It's just kind of a shocking, like a microcosm of our team this year. So many flashes, but you just can't ever put it together. Offense and defense are playing well, but then some bullshit play happens on special teams, a tip ball here, and we don't ever get those opportunities. I mean, we did get one bounce, I will say that, on the fumble, where we forced the fumble on Jonathan Taylor when he caught a ball, and then two guys ran right by the damn thing, which I was furious about. But one of our guys fell on it. Lamar Jackson was the only one to seem like he knew what was going on, which he'd be the last one I'd suspect to know that. But hell, at least we got the ball. We made a couple big plays to keep us in the game. Adrian played his best game of the year. That was the Adrian Martinez from last year. That's the Adrian Martinez we've needed all year, and our record would be different if he played like that against everybody else. But I think the main reason is you saw that offensive line actually moving people out of the way. Running game had holes to go through. Dedrick Mills looked faster and stronger than he's looked all year. If he continues that, it reminded me of Divine Ozigbo last year. A good combination of speed and power and bouncing off guys. Really great game from him. I hope that continues, and we'll get more of that from him in the future. Sticking on the offensive side, you saw more receivers involved. The tight ends were making plays. And this is all without Wan'Dale Robinson, who is outside of Adrian when he's playing his game, our best offensive player. And we still put up over 500 yards and a good deal of amount of points on a very good Wisconsin team who, maybe they had their off day. They've played a couple big games. Maybe they were feeling some of the effects from Iowa last week. But we still took it to them. And we were right there to have plenty of chances to win the game, but it's the same story as it's been all year. There's that 5-10 minute stretch where it's awful football. The defense just continues to get gashed, continues to give up points. I'm recording this Monday evening, and I don't know if you guys heard Scott Frost talk about it in the press conference today, but talking about how when he was at Oregon, when they scored 31 points or more in a game, they were 61-2. It's kind of shocking how many times I'd be very curious, and maybe I should have done that before this video, but I'd be very curious to see how many times he scored that amount of points here and we've lost. I know we needed 42 to beat Illinois this year, but we also only needed 13 to beat Northwestern. Yeah, Northwestern sucks this year, I get that. But still, we also beat a good Michigan State team last year, 9-6. So there's these games where the offense scores all these points. and the defense gives up all these points. And then there's games where the offense sucks, but the defense carries them. Eventually, we just have to just get this all together, and when every piece comes together, the special teams, offense, and defense, that's where you're going to see that win total go from the 4 or 5 wins up to the 7 or 8, and then you get some more skilled guys you develop. That's what we need to see. Overall, way better than I thought this game was going to be. The score line, if you would have gave me that score line going into the game, I would have been okay with it. The fact that we were in the game for parts in the second half were actually better than I was expecting. It's a loss that, yeah, it sucks to lose, and there's no such thing as moral victories, but there's a lot of good to take from this. And it kind of reminds me of that Ohio State game in a way last year, where we were in it, we were making plays that we hadn't really made all year, but we're still just not good enough to win. And Wisconsin is a team that'll punish you for every mistake that you make against them. We saw that, and that was the difference. But all in all, I thought it was a really good game by us. I just think it's just, like I said, a microcosm of where we're at this year. This brings us now to 4-6. We got 2 games left to try to get bowl eligible. That is what it is, but I like what I saw. If this continues the next 2 games, I think we have a pretty good chance to actually get to that 6-win mark. You'll hear more about that as the next couple weeks go on my previews, but a lot of good to take away from this and what's been a really shitty year. Very disappointing and frustrating, but it was a really good mark for the team. I think it's something that they can build on. Hopefully it turns into a big win next week against Maryland, but we'll see. But for now, I'm going to sign off. Catch my Maryland preview coming up here on Loft Sports. Thanks.